Dr. Claire Triantis, welcome to the Timely Stage. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Very excited to be here. I love any opportunity to talk about DCYPHER, so I'm very glad to
Well,
be
yes,
talking
so
to you.
let's explain to the people what DCYPHER is, because this is a real game changer in terms of really customizable makeup.
Yeah, so I'll tell you a bit about the sort of journey, how we kind of got to our idea. So the founders are myself and Adam. We both have backgrounds in the beauty and personal care industry. Adam, for many years, worked supplying ingredients and helping big brands formulate their products. And he had this kind of realization that actually products aren't that differentiated between them. So even though they had different labels with different sorts of benefits and things on, and actually what you're getting isn't really very personalized. So he sort of saw this opportunity to sort of change how the industry kind of did personalization. And at the same time, I was working at Unilever as a consumer scientist, taking insights from customers and helping the technical teams build better products. And I had my own realization from the other side that everybody's just so different and so unique. So you're different in terms of biology, so you're technically different, whether it's your hair or your skin, or your scalp or your teeth. But also you're different in terms of like your experiences and your personality, the psychological aspects that you bring to choosing and trying products, which could determine things like, you know, what fragrances you like, or, you know, the texture of a product. So everybody's completely unique, and kind of the one-size-fits-all model doesn't really cater to everybody, and that was the kind of realization. And so DCYPHER was born, and we started with foundation, which is a category that is inherently difficult for customers. I think everybody will have had an experience where they've tried to shade match and found it difficult.
Yeah, this whole malarkey about just try it on your jawline in natural light doesn't always work.
No, indeed. So yeah, we started with foundation for those reasons. It's just a very difficult category, and you know, we're trying to fit 7 billion faces into sort of 60 boxes at best. Really makes it very difficult, and we know because we've measured and matched many more than 60 shades now. So we kind of understand that you need more than what the industry can provide. But the problem is you need a new model to do that. The one-size-fits-all model just doesn't work for kind of bespoke beauty.
So how does AI, artificial intelligence, play into this?
So we use artificial intelligence to do the measurement part of the process. So people will come online. They will see a video of their face which appears on the screen, and there's some online in real time analysis that's done of your image to assess your skin tone. So there's 3 of those scans to make it super accurate, and then basically we take that information that's generated from that AI, which is essentially, you know, mimicking a real beauty consultant, and then we take that information and we create a colour recipe using it, and then we use machines and advanced manufacturing to be able to dispense that bespoke product for that particular person. So we don't do any sort of shade matching, shade ranges, we don't pick from a shelf, we make everything bespoke for that person, and AI kind of helps us to, empowers us to be able to do that, because you get that measurement and you can do it online and access lots and lots of customers that way.
And so it's not just about the colour as well, you were talking about the formula to support the different skin types and needs as well.
Yeah, that's it. So as I was saying, like, you have the biology part, which is your skin tone and your skin type, so we customize for skin type as well. But you also have these other sort of preference-based choices that you can make for the coverage and also for the finish. So it really is, when you kind of combine the number of possibilities across the skin tones and the finish and the coverage and the skin type, what you're ended up with is a pretty bespoke. There'll be very few people who have exactly the same product as you, and you get a hand in actually making it yourself and designing it. So it's kind of empowering people to actually have a say and build their product with us doing the difficult part.
So I guess this is a real starting point then, and AI probably has a really integral part to play in beauty moving forward.
Yeah, I would say so. I think with the shift that consumers are making from buying in store to online, I think there's a need to create an experience for them that's more like in store, so they can get the recommendations that they need online, whether that's, you know, colour matching, or whether it's skincare recommendations, or hair colour recommendations, or whatever it might be. It also makes, if you can do that, it also makes your brand much more accessible, because you can get everybody online, whereas not necessarily into your stores. So I do think that the AI is a really big enabler, but it is important to note that you have to be careful about the AI that you use, because we've tested lots and lots of colour matching tech, and we've also tested skincare tech as well, and they're not, there's lots that really don't kind of meet expectation.
Right.
So, brands have to be careful that it's not gimmicky, and that they're actually using it for a real true purpose.
Okay, so that's really interesting. So what I love about the beauty industry and what I love about what DCYPHER have done is that there's a problem that needs to be solved. They've identified the problem and they've provided a solution. What is the problem with customization now generally in the beauty industry? Because it is a little bit, as you say, hit and miss.
Yeah, I think the model is kind of flawed. So within having a range of products on a shelf, I think you don't really get. It's hard to be able to personalise or choose a product that's exactly for you from a range. So it's the same with skincare as it is with foundation. What brands do is they just produce more products that are more of a niche, and you end up with loads and loads of products, and then you don't, and then it's more overwhelming for customers, and there's more waste in the process. Yeah. And it's exactly the same for foundation, probably worse with colour matching. If you think about that drawer of foundation graveyard that everybody has, that you feel so guilty over buying and getting wrong, but you can't throw it away because you spent hundreds of pounds on this collective, mismatched group. So yeah, that's kind of the trouble really, is that we need a new model to be able to get away from this one size fits all model and actually make beauty custom fit for the person. And we're using technology to be able to do that at scale, en masse, and at an affordable price as well.
One of the things that has been a very loud conversation, thankfully, in the beauty industry over the last 2 years has been about really making sure that brands are being inclusive and representing everybody. And it is still a challenge for a lot of brands, because we know that it can be really expensive to create such a wide variety of colour formulas. We also know that the formulas are different depending on where you sit on the colour spectrum. And obviously DCYPHER is going to sort of eliminate that problem, because it can be entirely inclusive because it is custom made.
This is more of a sticking plaster than kind of a solution to the problem, because what you just end up doing is producing more SKUs that retailers then need to stock on their shelves, find space for, all their capital's tied up in stock. You end up kind of with lots and lots of waste in the process as a result. So you kind of need a new model to kind of do it differently, so that kind of reduces the waste, that actually meets the needs of the customer. Because even if you've got more shades, it doesn't mean you're going to find the one that fits you. Yeah. As I said, we've made many more shades than 60 for customers, so we know that there are more shades out there than what are currently being provided by brands.
And you're mentioning 60 because that actually is the gold standard, because any brand, we're thinking about, off the top of my head, MAC and Fenty, who are really doing it right. They probably have that number of shades, but you're already saying it's way broader than that.
Yeah, it is, absolutely. Yeah, it is massively more broad than that, yeah. So, yeah.
And you also talked about waste, which is another conversation which is really loud for very, very good reason. And lots of brands saying, yes, we're going green, or this is sustainable, or we're making these changes. And we know there's a fair amount of greenwashing going on. Yeah. But actually the other thing that AI does is it eliminates a massive waste problem, as you've already kind of alluded to.
Yeah, that's right. You've kind of got this foundation graveyard, but you've also got all the stock on the shelves that doesn't get sold. You've also got all the returns that people have bought online, especially through COVID, where you've been able to return products, and all of that will just be destroyed. So we estimate that a good proportion of foundations that are bought are actually or produced are actually wasted, which is just really shameful. So I think there needs to be a new way to do it, and if you can use AI to get those measurements right, if you can add on an advanced manufacturing system that can bespoke create that shade that's measured, and also we provide samples first, so we'll always send a sample so that individual can check that the shade is correct, so that they only ever get the full product that they love because they've actually tested it and tried it. So that kind of eliminates this whole process of getting a product and stick it in a drawer and never really using it and feeling bad about it.
So tell me about the process at manufacturing end. Like, what do the machines look like? What else can they produce?
So our machines can, effectively anything that's liquid. So it could be hair care, it could be lip gloss, it could be nail varnish. Anything. Skincare would be a massive opportunity. So in a nutshell, yeah, anything that's liquid, we think we'll be able to make with a bit of development work. So yeah.
And you started with foundation Because is it an easier SKU to start with?
Absolutely not, no. So foundation is almost definitely the hardest liquid product to make because, you know...
Well done.
No, we're crazy. So, you know, because it's getting that colour right. It's basically we've had to, you know, develop our colour science to be able to make those matches. So it's far, you know, you can't get away from the product being right. You know, you can, with skincare, you're not really sure what's in the product because you can't see it. But with foundation, if the colour's wrong, if there's too much red in it, you're going to see that it's not a match. So, you know, we've definitely started with the most difficult problem. So anything else should be a breeze from now on.
Well, you're talking about skincare, and so my immediate question is, okay, if I can customize my skincare, we all know that skin changes throughout the course of our lives, but also at various times of the month. So I guess if you're getting your skincare through DCYPHER moving forward, are you having a regular check-in? Would the same be true with foundation, actually? You know, would you check in twice a year? I've just been on holiday, so I better go and have another consultation and change the tone and color of my foundation. I mean, is it going to be that interactive as well as customizable?
At the moment, we don't go back to customers too much, but that's definitely something that we will be doing in the future. You know, people can come back and they can reorder the same product, or they can very easily do a new scan of their skin and then order a new product. So, you know, we try and make it as easy as possible for people to kind of get new shades that kind of, you know, meet the needs of their skin tone for whatever season it is and whatever fake tan they've had on their face or whatever it is. So, yeah.
And with skincare, in the way that foundation can be completely inclusive, can the skincare be as adaptive? So it doesn't matter whether you've got normal skin. We're not talking about normal dry combination. It will actually read the biology of your skin and will be precisely perfect for whatever is going on with you, which isn't necessarily going to fit into one of those rigid categories.
Yeah, so I think there's, because we haven't developed the skincare proposition yet, which is definitely something we want to do for the future, we still need to build the upfront AI system for that. And if we can build a good enough one, we'd use that. But we'd always also use feedback from customers about what they think about their skin too, because we think it's really important that they are part of the design process and they're not dictated to. Because I think people know more about their skin, they know their skin better than people give them credit for. So yeah, the whole system, and the idea for skincare would be that, you know, you could have a whole range of different actives at different amounts to meet the needs of your skin. So the possibilities are endless, and it's a really exciting opportunity, and I really hope we can do it soon.
Now, because this is quite new tech, and because it is game changing, how has it been? I'm just thinking, if someone's watching this or listening to this and they're thinking, I've got a new idea, I wonder how difficult it is. Has it been a challenge to kind of convince people to on board with something like this when the way that it's been done for so many years is so well established? Yeah,
it's a completely new way to do it. So, you know, I think people have had bad experiences with technology and beauty. Like I was saying before, it's so important that it's done properly. You know, if these models aren't built with the right data and representative data of all skin shades, you end up getting a very disappointing result. So yeah, I think one of the challenges is convincing people that our technology really does work and to come and try it. But yeah, it's a whole new model, you know, about having a sample first. You know, even that is part of the model rather than having to ask for it. You know, it's a new way to do things. I think it is difficult for customers to believe in it. But yeah, we invite anyone to come and try it because we've happily satisfied a lot of people so far. So yeah.
So what else is to come from DCYPHER?
So absolutely concealers. So we get asked about when are we doing concealers all the time. So we're currently just trying to optimize a formulation for concealer. And of course that will be colour matched, and we're exploring kind of correction technologies as well for different sorts of concealing. And also skincare, as I mentioned, it's a huge opportunity, and we really think we can do that properly and do it right. So those two things are definitely on the radar. But our minds are open to other things also. So
exciting times. Okay, would you mind letting the people know where they can find you and where they can go to do one of these online consultations to get that sample for that customized foundation?
Yeah, so you just need to go to www.decipher.me, so that's DCYPHER, and then you just go through the process, and you can do your scan and get information about your undertone and things as well before you even have to pay. So you know you can upskill yourself in your shade. So as an added benefit too. So it's worth a go.
And thank you so much.
No problem. Thank you very much.